Hi everybody, I hope you and yours are well and had a wonderful week. There was once a student of a great Hasidic master who asked an interesting question, which we're going to attempt to answer today. He said, Rabbi, what is the spiritual purpose of God allowing a person not to believe in him? Obviously, there's free choice, and we can either believe or not believe in God. The evidence is, I think, quite overwhelming that there is a God in the world, because if there's a world with the beauty and sophistication and creativity and beauty and complexity, if there's a suit, there's a tailor. If there's a world, there's a creator. But he wanted to know what the deeper lesson is. And I'll share the Rebbe's answer with you. But first, let's talk about the Parsha a little bit. In the Parsha, in the Torah portion, we have the unbelievable strength of faith that the farmers in the land of Israel who keep Shemitah, the sabbatical year. And this is an unbelievable thing. They leave the field fallow for an entire year every 7 years and rely on the Almighty. And this is a powerful lesson of faith. And what about us? We don't live in the land of Israel and we're not farmers. How do we show our faith and reliance on God? Well, the first obvious thing would be prayer. Prayer shows that we're not in charge. We have to turn to God for His help and His guidance. Secondly, there's the concept of being honest in business, which is something related to in this week's parasha as well. Being honest. God is the one who provides, and He sets the rules and the limits of what we can and cannot do in a business setting. The concept of keeping Shabbos, very important. God is in charge. He's the boss of the world. A famous basketball player had a job with the New York Nets, and he's a man who was on the New York Knicks many years ago, and then he went to Israel and he converted, and he quit his job because of Shabbos. Great strength. Hashem provides, and Hashem is the boss. How about us having a balance in our lives, not to overwork, so that we have time for family and the study of Torah and acts of loving kindness and work? It reminds us of all the same things. How much I'm going to earn is going to be destined, and I have to make my effort, but I have to rely on God too, and I have to have balance in my life. So these are all very important ideas, all related to the concept of the great powerful people of faith, the Shemitah observers, the one who leave the field fallow for a year. But we have a lot that we can do through prayer, through honesty in business, keeping Shabbos, and having a balanced schedule in our lives. What about somebody who needs help, which is something that's also in this week's parsha? If your brother becomes impoverished and his means falter in your proximity, you should strengthen him. What about that? Big mitzvah. As a matter of fact, Maimonides has a list of 8 different categories of how we can help somebody who's poor. But wait a second. Didn't God make him poor? That's maybe destined for him to be that way. Said the great Hasidic rabbi to his chassid, to his student, when someone needs help, that's when you become a non-believer in God. You go out and help. And Rabbi brings a commentary that says that's why it's written in the singular language, because we each individual have that responsibility. We don't rely on God for somebody else. For ourselves, we should rely on God, but for somebody else, we have to be proactive. We have to work. We have to do. And that's a very powerful and strong idea for us to balance. Having faith for ourselves and working through prayer and the observance of Shabbos and other mitzvahs, and balance in our work life, and being honest in our business. Because God is the one who's in charge and God provides. But if someone else needs, make believe there's no God. Make believe I got to do mine because God's not in the picture. I have to make every effort to lift somebody up. In the ideal state, give him a job or give him a major loan so that he can stand on his own feet. And in other areas, help him. Give him a donation with warmth and sincerity and caring. So this parsha teaches us this beautiful balance of strong faith for ourselves and, quote, not believing in God to help somebody else. May we be so inspired to increase our level of faith and do what we need to do to show how much faith we have in God, while at the same time extending ourselves for our fellows and helping every man, woman, and child that we can in the best possible way we can. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Thoughts and comments and questions are always appreciated. Take good care. Have a great Shabbos. Bye.